Linhan Zhang réalise The Last Ferry from Grâce Island, un court-métrage qui lui a valu de faire partie de la sélection 2020 de la Ciné-Fondation du Festival de Cannes. Le film se passe sur une île isolée de Hong Kong où le réalisateur nous fait passer un message sur la mort et sur la relation mentor-élève à travers le personnage d'un tueur à gages à la retraite. Today we have the pleasure to welcome with us film director Linhan Zhang. So first and foremost, congratulations for receiving the special mentions for Best Direction. Your film has definitely left a mark on us and our jury. So just a quick recap of the film. So it was shot during the Hong Kong protests, and it tells the story of a former hitman who retired as a fisherman and he's looking for his mother in a rustic village on Grâce Island. And one day, his former Chinese apprentice shows up and is tasked to kill him before the last ferry departs. So my first question would be, when did you first set foot in the world of cinema, and how did that happen for you?
The first time I was introduced to cinema was in high school when I had a film course. My teacher was very inspiring, so it pushed me in the direction of wanting to make art in this medium. And then after high school, I took a gap year to try it out. I did a internship where I worked as an assistant director on a short film that took place in India. So it was my first time working with a professional set. And it opened my eyes a little bit about how the industry works. So after that, I think it was like a natural progression for me to keep studying film at university, and eventually here is where I end up.
Okay, cool.
I wanted to ask you, Linhan, do you have any anecdotes about the making of the film? Anything that didn't go to plan in the first place, for example, and ended up working out finally?
Sure. I think almost every film has something that does not go as planned.
Yeah, sure.
But I guess the make or break factor is the severity of how far it deviated of your plan. For my case, I would say it's quite fortunate because we chose to shoot in summer, and summer is usually the monsoon season in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So, as you saw in the movie, we have many outdoor or semi-outdoor exterior shots. So the continuity was a concern at first, but we had many lucky breaks. We shot over 5 days, and 3.5 days were sunny. So we were able to grab everything exterior during that time. That's sort of how we came around it. And when it's raining, we shoot something indoor.
Okay, so the weather was kind of difficult to prevent or something?
I suppose it's something you cannot really plan,
Anticipate.
But I suppose we planned by preparing for this such thing to happen.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cast for this film was, like, in our opinion, on point. The three characters are very unique and they still kind of blend very well together. How did you manage to come up with this cast?
So the actor Taibo, he's quite a legendary actor in Hong Kong. We've seen many of his movies when I was a kid. He was so, for example, Jackie Chan has made many movies with his stunt team, and over the years he has had many generations of the stunt team because it's very physically demanding, so they always have to change. And this actor, he was in the original stunt team of the very first Jackie Chan movies. So he has a very deep tie history with Hong Kong cinema. And if you imagine Jackie Chan, you can think about sort of like action films, and there's a lot of like hitman or triad elements. So I thought it would be nice to have him, who is very well versed in the Hong Kong audience vocabulary as a so like a hitman kind of character to, in a way, um, come out 20 years later and play a retired hitman again.
Yeah.
To sort of give this universe like a bit of longer um, life for his character. So he was one of my top choices, and credits to my producer. He was the one who reached out and arranged all of this for me. As for the actress, I've seen her performance in another one of my New York University classmates' film, and she had a great performance. Initially, I wanted to have two Hong Kong actors, but I thought maybe it's even more interesting to have a Mandarin-speaking apprentice. So I broke that barrier, and it became easy to choose her as the primary choice.
Okay, Lian. I just wanted to ask another question. Because throughout your short film, as for example, Wong Kar-wai movies, there's a lack of dialogue, which is particularly used in Hong Kong cinema. And do you ever feel that sometimes some dialogues in movies are useless and that some emotion can be communicated through just looks, for example? What do you think about it?
I think in general, it really depends on the filmmaker, because I think one of the best gifts of human evolution is our gift of language.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we can create very, very eloquent sentences and beautiful dialogues, which some directors do very well in their movies. For me, I think, especially when I make a short film, it's very much like a reductive process for me, because we only have so little time in our medium. So when I think about a story, I often think, okay, what is something that is not necessary in the absolute manner? I think in this case, dialogue was quite easily one of the things I threw out first, because I don't want to distract the audience, because we have a lot of visual as well. And also without dialogue, I hope it can reach to a greater audience, because then people don't have to worry about subtitles or anything. They can just feel the movie. So that, I think, is the advantage of having a less dialogue short film, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because the film was very beautiful. Like there was beautiful image plan. So, in your opinion, you will say that your dialogue I kind of secondary in a case, because the image was very beautiful in a way. Okay, so you said that your main inspiration comes from the 90s Hong Kong film from directors like Johnny To and John Woo. What are 3 movies that you would recommend watching from someone who's new to this kind of movies? Because I'm a big fan of Wong Kar-wai, so I feel you in a way.
Right. Yes. When I went to university, most international filmmakers knew Wong Kar-wai. He is like the poster child of Hong Kong cinema. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Of course, there are also many other directors that emerged along with Wong Kar-wai in the new wave that maybe people will find out later if they're more interested in Hong Kong cinema. And I highlighted Johnny To and John Woo especially because they, if you think about stereotypical Hong Kong gangster shootout where the bullets fly everywhere, those are the directors that comes into our minds. So with Johnny To's movie, you can check out his Election series. You can also look at, for example, for John Woo, you can watch his A Better Tomorrow. These are all considered Hong Kong classic cinema. And if you've seen those, then you will see I tried to draw some inspiration from the way these hitmen operate, sort of their value, their character about sort of their integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I try to extend it into my film, where you see how these two hitmen interact as a homage.
Yeah. Well, so you were born in China and graduated in film television at NYU. So how do you think this kind of bicultural background shapes the way that you make films?
I think it's this is quite a difficult question because it makes me reflect upon my existence and my path. I think it's always good to have different sort of cultural perspective
Mhm.
on the same matter, because I think, for example, like the Wong Kar-wai frenzy between Hong Kong's audience and foreign audience, maybe they focus on different things.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to find out why certain demographic likes a particular aspect
Mhm.
of a film. I think with more perspective, it helps to make to tell a story that will hopefully hit across a larger cross section of audiences worldwide. So I suppose that is the greatest advantage
Mhm.
of having this cultural immersion.
Exactly, yeah. So on a more technical side, your whole film is a series of long, wide shots, wide and medium shots. And I just wanted to know, why did you specifically choose to only use wide shots and not only, and just only, I think, one or two close-ups? I think the only close-ups in the film were when the former Heyman puts his mother to bed, and we see the very beautiful close-ups on the mother's hands, and their hands just like kind of colliding together. So why this? Why did you choose that?
Right. I thought it's quite interesting to see. Well, first of all, the space
Mhm.
of the house is very small.
Yeah.
So with a wide shot, you can almost see the entire room. And um, even though the room is small, you have three different characters with very different objectives, and you also have a animal in the background that sometimes comes in and out. Um, because somebody is about to die,
Mhm.
or that's what I want people to think whenever they see Hitman. I think the situation will be quite tense, but if you suddenly step out and see what everybody is doing, maybe it will make the situation a little bit humorous. That's what I thought. Also, they're very good actors, so I don't really need to um, use close up to
Focus
sort of
really.
maybe hide performance.
Mhm.
Um, the one instance, you're right, where there's a tender interaction between the hitman and the mother. I thought it's quite important to highlight because, um, again, I I want to subvert people's thoughts that Hitman is always very cruel and
Mhm.
have no sentiment. I thought that's a good moment for him to show some emotion,
Yeah.
and hence my choice.
Okay. And talking about that little animal, that pug was so cute. Was there a specific reason why you chose a pug for the movie, or was it just, a random choice of yours?
Yeah, the pug was random. The pug was just there when we
Yeah.
found the location. The location came with it, and
Okay.
the owners were very cool. She's quite old actually. The pug is about 18 years old, which
Oh,
is
wow.
beyond the average dog lifespan.
Hmm.
So um, I guess the benefit of that is the pug is more quiet. She doesn't really move around too much. So I thought, again, I'm trying to make the tense moment sort of funny, and I thought with the pug it just makes things a bit better.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, Ilan, if you were going back to your very first question, that's something that we didn't plan for, but we thought,
Oh, yeah.
maybe we should
Oh,
add that in. But it's more of a positive,
It just,
no,
unexpected.
that was a good choice. That was a good choice, Linan, really. And lastly, the most important question, what is your own definition of cinema? According to you.
I think cinema is a fabrication of reality that transcends reality.
yeah.
Yes, that's what I think cinema is, or I hope what I can achieve one day.
Okay, that's a good definition.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Linan, for answering our question today, and congratulations again for your short movie, which I really loved personally. And we wish you all the best for your career, Linan.
Yeah, and we're looking
Thank you so much.
We're looking forward for your next projects.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Well, thank